Shalom, shalom. First, I want to start by giving infinite praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, bahasham, yahawashi, bahasham, qadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well and teach well through 100% truth and sincerity. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect, which is the Israelite foreigners that were scattered amongst. To you and only to you, I say shalom. It's your brother Aharon here from the Great Millstone DC branch, coming to you with an impromptu lesson through the spirit and truth of Yahawah, bahasham, yahawashi, and jumping straight into it. This is Revelation chapter 13 and verse 15. It says, "And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed." And these are the times that we're about to, come into. Okay? You're hearing talks. You're hearing talks on the mandates, of the mark of the beast, which is the charagma or the RFID microchip, that implantable device the size of a grain of rice, which they're gonna cause to put into your hand or your forehead. And if you've been paying attention to the news, we're seeing Elon Musk, speaking on these things, saying that 2026 is a time which he's striving to mass produce, his Neuralink, those brain chips that that he's gonna cause a lot of people to receive. This is just one of the forms, okay, of the RFID microchip, which the mark of the beast, it speaks of it in the scriptures, which we're going over it right now, for edification's sake. Comparing the scriptures into the news. All right. Revelations 13 and 16, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, and that no man might buy or sell, saith he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name." And yeah, man, this is something that's going to be mandatory for, the whole world to receive. Especially if you're not a believer of the truth, a believer of Yahawah, bahasham, yahawashi. Only those that believe and have faith, okay, that trust in Yahawah, bahasham, yahawashi, won't receive this mark which is being spoken on in the scriptures. And we understand that word mark, goes into the word charagma. Okay? And going back into the root word karats. Okay? This is something that, it's going to be implantable. All right? You may see it be spoken on. Certain people have already received it, right? But it's going to kick up and elevate to a time which the wicked rulers that ruleth over this world are going to mandate, the MOTB, which the prophets that have been before us have always spoken on this, starting with our apostles, our elders, and they were forewarning you not to receive this mark, because all they that receive this mark, the charagma, are going to be destroyed, like the scripture is going to bring out. I'm going to get to it, Revelation 14. All right, but continuing on in Revelation 13 and 18. And, once you receive this mark, this is something that you can't take back. The Lord's going to cut you off, okay? And it's going to show that you chose who your power was. Okay, you trusted in Esau, Edom, to rule over your life, which the Lord's going to, torment you with fire, man. All right. Verse 18 says, "Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. 666. All right, the mark of the wicked, man. Okay, but through Yahawah bahasham yahawashi, we have an opportunity to seek what? Okay, let me get that. Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 4, because while the rest of the world are going to seek, to receive this mark of the wicked, the men of the Lord are seeking this mark right now. Okay, which in this mark that we're seeking after is the righteous mark of Yahawah bahasham yahawashi, the thawah, the mark of exemption. All right, Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 4. And the Lord Yahawah bahasham yahawashi said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and they cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And this is what the men of the Lord will be doing right now, crying and sighing for all the abominations that are done in the midst thereof. Okay, speaking out against this system, this beast system. Okay, not being hand in hand with it. Okay, but what? Preparing ourselves to escape it. It's something that on a daily basis we're praying unto the Lord to cause us to escape. To cause us to escape these different pestilence. Okay, these different plagues that are about to hit this place. Ultimately keeping his hedge of protection on us and guidance on us. So when it comes down into it, we still have the qadash on us to make that choice, man, in the hour of temptation. Because all will be tried, and it's not going to just be a little bit of people or just, one city. No, this mark here is going to come to try the world. The charagma is going to try the whole world. All right, that hour of temptation is going to show who have chosen, the wicked to rule over them, and who have chosen Yahawah bahasham yahawashi to lead their life. Okay, and those that have chose Yahawah bahasham yahawashi to lead their life right now in these times, will be seeking out to what? To be covered, crying and sighing in the midst, okay, thereof, against these, abominations that are being done, right here, that are being orchestrated, playing out. You have the, the National Guards on your corners. Eventually, you're going to see, it ramp up to the point that what? These Gurga troops are going to come in. All right, enforcing the different, mandates, causing, the ramping up of the what? Of the masses. And this is why, in Revelation 13, when it said, and he causeth all. So it's going to be a cause, man. They might have, a severe blackout or, another shutdown, right? Or they may just push, another 2019 episode, right? But it's something that through the Spirit, the men of the Lord are preparing themselves for through Yahawah bahasham yahawashi. And like the apostles, always say, man, let's get it on the road, man, because you get it on the road is one day step closer to what? To the salvation of the Lord's hopeful elect, ultimately playing out into being the elect, man. Okay, and this is what it's all about, man. Seeking the thawah, to be covered in that time, and ultimately doing all you can to withstand. All right, but remember, understand what's about to go on. all they that trust in this beast system shall be cut off and die. Okay? This is Revelation chapter 14 and verse 8. It says, and there followed another angel saying, Babylon is falling, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And yes, soon to be, man, you're going to see Babylon completely falling. All right? But right now, you're seeing what? The strongholds of this place be brought down. You know? The Lord, yahawah bahasham yahawashi, is revealing all the secret parts of this wicked beast system. You know? All the things that is normally done in the dark are being revealed. Like in the news, you see how Sleazy E sent over their troops to what? To capture the leaders, the leader Medora, right? But this is just them. This is just them, flexing their power, because the earth was given into the hands of the wicked, right? But ultimately, the Lord's going to bring their power low, and they're going to soon understand that, they have no more strength, no more, might. All right. And that's when we're going to understand and know that what? Babylon is falling, which is soon to come, because they're going to push forth that charagma soon to be. And all these other nations are knowing and seeing what their plan is, right? And they're turning from allies to enemies. But, just a warning, like the scripture is going to warn you, all they that fall for that beast system are going to be cut off and die, man. So Revelations 14 and 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of yahawah bahasham yahawashi, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And yeah, his righteous anger is going to fall upon you if you receive, that charagma. If you fall for this beast system. Okay? It says, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angel, in the presence of the holy angels, and in the presence of the Lamb. You're going to be cut off. You're going to be what? Tormented. And it says, and the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever. And they have no rest, day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. If you receive that mark, man, that's going to be a bad estate for you. And this is what the Lord yahawah bahasham yahawashi is forewarning you. You're not going to be able to take it back. Okay, you're not going to be able to receive it and take it out and say, no, I didn't want it, after you didn't willingly took it. Okay? So understand that yahawah bahasham yahawashi, is giving that early warning through what? Through the mouthpiece of his prophets. For warning you, through our apostles, our elders, those like-minded brothers, to not receive that charagma, to not, fall for this beast system, but rather seek out, the tawah. And this is going to be, the patience of the saints, which in the scriptures is about to tell you, Revelations 14 and 12. And here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yahawah and faith of yahawashi of Mashiach. And this is what's going to, uphold us in that time. Faith in yahawah, bahasham, yahawashi, and ultimately understanding. Which then I'm going to end off on this. Isaiah chapter 33 and verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. You know, if you fear the Lord, you won't receive that charagma. Okay? If you've been building yourselves up in the wisdom and knowledge of yahawah, bahasham, yahawashi, like he said, with all thy getting, get understanding. You know, and the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Will show that you fear the Lord and apply this wisdom into your life. That way, when it comes down into making a choice, like saying no to the reception of receiving that charagma, you're able to stand firm. Okay? Because it's going to be the strength of salvation. But the fear of the Lord is his treasure. So, you know, just a quick exhortation. You know, quick, Lord's willing, was an edifying lesson. You know, on not receiving, you know, the mark of the beast, the charagma, because it's soon to come, especially in this year, Lord's willing. You know, we're getting closer and closer to seeing our salvation. Continue to pay attention to the news. We're only 4 days in, and you're seeing, you know, mass things going on. Okay? Continue to watch, because, you know, prophecies are jumping off the page. So I want to end off by saying, call halalyam la, abanawa, yahawah, bahasham, yahawashi, bahasham, qadash, shanya kabad, gawala rakwab, zakwanyanawa ba'ath. You know, continue to watch and pray that the Lord keeps the spirit on you to be those men that does not bow to the image of Baal or the mark of the beast. Lord's willing, we're part of those 7,000 men, or that complete number of men that did not bow the knee. Okay? Covered with the tawah. So shalom.